campers.
Hey.
I'm Spike.
I'm Chris.
We're geeking out and ho, 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 ho.
What are you calling me out? What?
I'm calling them ho.
Yeah, you see that? Yeah.
We've got two cameras rolling right now. See if either one of these will actually last to film this. Anyway.
Yes.
Yes, and we've got one that's scanning everything in reverse. So bless them all. Our second camera's getting everything in reverse. So if you see Action Comics running backwards, you know we had to use the old camera instead of that.
Oh.
Anywho, it has been a long... Well, actually, it hasn't been a long week because I didn't get the Geekin' Out episode out until, what, Thursday? Thursday?
Something
like that. It was a busy week. I wound up talking about Elon Musk a bunch last week. So now we're here talking about this. By the way, it is... I really need to put a calendar up in here. It is... We're recording on Sunday, December 11th, 2022. It seemed like there was something we were going to talk about, and we really need to start writing down agendas on these things, Christopher.
I do my part.
He does his part. Whatever. We've got a back rack video. We'll be looking at the best of Desilu Studios, including how Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz changed the entire television industry, and some shows that you're going to take a look at and wonder how Lucille Ball managed to get connected with that. But we also have a bunch of stuff to do today. I was thinking about doing Tour of Duty, but we are now up to our 5th Twitter file release, so I'm probably going to hold off on that till next week because this one should be extra juicy. They're up to 5. Okay, we're gonna do quick politics real quick because I won't be doing a Tour of Duty. The first Twitter dump was about how they cooperated with the FBI. The second one was talking about keeping conservatives off of shadow banning people. The third was about Donald Trump. The fourth was about Donald Trump. And the fifth is about Anthony Fauci, Dr. F.U. Fauci, and his COVID mania of the past 2 years. That's coming out today as we record. So that's going to be fun. But right now, we're having fun. We're geeking out. We actually have something coming up in January. We're going to have apparently our first guest in a while. We're going to be we will not be coming to praise Star Trek. We'll be coming to bury it. So just so you know, yes, we are burying Star Trek.
That's not what he had in mind.
Oh, I know it's not what he had in mind. It's what he's going to get if he comes in here and talks trash to me. Don't come in here talking Trek trash to me, okay?
No.
Trek is dead. Dead as a doornail, dead as disco, dead as data. Dead as data, that's our episode for that'll be coming up in January, so keep your eyes on that one. So you just had to open your mouth. Open your mouth. Now in the meantime, we got other episodes to do. We got Christmas coming up. We were discussing a little bit earlier, have you noticed all the Christmas decorations going in the lawns and stuff? Everybody's got the Grinch up. I'm seeing stuff for Frosty the Snowman. I'm seeing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. There has not been a good Christmas special in 60 years. Should we admit we are just a bunch of godless heathens and are incapable of celebrating Christmas properly for the last 60 years? Is that what that means? You had an answer. You're not going to use it.
I don't put up Christmas decorations at all.
I don't either, but
I don't even put up a tree. Not even mistletoe.
But it's just we haven't had a good Christmas special in 60 years. Everybody has a Christmas special, but none of them are any good.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that they do is show reruns of Rudolph and what's that elf one? Or is that Rudolph?
That was Rudolph's Shiny New Year, I think.
Where they fight the abominable snowman
and I think that
Charlie Brown Christmas thing.
Charlie Brown was the best of the bunch, to be honest, because that was the only one with a Bible verse in it. Crying out loud. Linus actually sits there and recites the story of Jesus' birth and stuff. But
you know what's crazy though? It's like they don't do nothing with Charlie Brown or the Peanuts gang until Halloween and Christmas. Have you noticed that?
That's true. Again, 60 years old.
Yeah.
Because The Charlie Brown Christmas was the first Charlie Brown special, period. And then the second one, I think, was The Great Pumpkin.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, when it comes to specials, I mean, it's kind of the same thing when it comes to like Halloween specials. Like, there is like, when it comes to like Halloween family films, you had, the last one was probably like Halloween Town. Then you had the Hocus Pocus. Then you had Nightmare Before Christmas. And then that's it. Now it's nothing but horror movies, horror movies, horror movies. But when it comes to family friendly, spookiness, they really don't do that no more.
The culture, pop culture at large, pretty much ignores children. So they denigrate children, treat them poorly, and then are shocked that none of these kids want to buy their crap anymore. Right now we got kids. Seriously, I remember it wasn't that long ago when we were talking about female genital mutilation being one of the worst crimes against humanity that Sharia law was promoting. I remember those days. I spoke against them those days, and now all of a sudden it's become the hot sexy here in America, here in 2022, female genital mutilation. Every single one of you who are involved in that is going to swing from streetlights. This is not a joke. It's the only way to stop you, because you're psychotic. You're predators. You're wolves. You're not even wolves. You're like coyotes. You're like hyenas. You're not even good enough to take down an actual target. You have to go after weak children who are already dealing with so much garbage in their life. They already think they're inferior to everybody about them. All they want is to fit in. They want somebody to like them, and that's just what your little predator butt does. You go in, you bully them, you browbeat them, you beat them into submission, and then when they actually give in and do what you keep bullying them into doing, you sit there and laugh at them because they just cut off their junk. And then when they want to transition back, you yell at them for being wimps. You people suck. Every single one of you. Streetlight. Streetlight decorations. You should be hanging for a year. And get me started. If you really get me started, I'm going to start running around with the torch and lighting you while you're swinging. So, I don't play with this. Don't mess with kids. Okay? You know me. I'm not the biggest Papa Wolf in the world. But by God, you mess with these kids, you're going to bring out the Papa Wolf, and I'm going to go alpha male on your butt. Watch it. So, Chris, what's in pop culture news this week? Nah.
Oh, wow. Pop culture news. Ooh. Okay, well, honestly, there really hasn't been much, but I'll go over the big stuff that has happened in the last week or two, half a week now. So, are you ready?
Yes, bring it on.
Okay, here we go. Jennifer Lawrence is getting huge backlash after speaking out saying that her role in Hunger Games was the first female lead action hero. Now everybody's coming after her because, well, it's not true. Then she put out an apology saying that's not what I meant, even though people are pointing out, how else did you mean it when you literally said, I am proud to be the first female action hero in a lead to an action film. I mean,
okay,
how else would you mean that?
First off, Sigourney Weaver would like to have a word with you. And she wasn't even the first. She was by no means the first.
Oh, people named a bunch.
She's one of the ones people can think of off the top of my head. Okay, I'm thinking. I do that once in a while. I'm thinking. Okay, between Jennifer Lawrence has been putting her foot in her mouth for a while now. Okay, this is not the first time she's open mouthed and inserted foot. Kanye West. Okay, now hold on. Wait a minute. And who was the idiot who shut her mouth off on Twitter not that long ago and got hounded into? She was all upset because Elon Musk bought Twitter, and I can't remember what her name is. She was on Charmed.
Alyssa Milano?
Alyssa Milano.
She's the only one that I know of that always talks correct. So.
Oh, and let's not forget George Takei and Rob Reiner, Meathead. And there's several others. Those are the 5 I can think of off the top of my head. Who are their handlers? Somebody is getting into their ear and giving them the worst frickin' advice. Remember I just ranted and raved about kids being bullied into, literally mutilating themselves. These people, these celebrities have people whispering in their ear who are trying to destroy them. For what? For kicks? For laughs? You get a kickback whenever they... I know Twitter isn't giving Alyssa Milano's handlers any money for doing that. I don't get it. What? There's... Suddenly every single one of these people are just mouthing off and blowing their entire reputations in a single tweet, in a single... I mean, for crying out loud, if you're too extreme for Alex Jones, you're way off the reservation there, ye. Okay? So, it's... but it's just, yay, whatever he is. That dude, he's, all these people are just going nuts. Stop it. Leave the celebrities alone, okay? Look, let's get the smoking gun to bring back World's Dumbest on TV or something and put these people back to work so they can at least earn an honest living. I mean, we did it for Todd Bridges. We can do it for Jennifer Lawrence, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, that's all I got to say about that.
In some shorter news here, Black Panther took 401 million of North America.
Which one?
What?
What did you just say?
Black Panther 2 took home 401 million.
That's since it released, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's never going to match Black Panther 1. It's just not. We do need to talk about Avatar 2 at some point, but I don't want to. Neither one of us wants to talk about Avatar 2. You want... Okay. Uncle Juju gets these ideas in his head sometimes. I need to get one of those. I need to find Johnny Carson's estate and see if I can get the amazing Karnak thing that he puts on his head, so I can sit here with a little envelope to my head and when I make these predictions. Okay. There are just enough white women to make Avatar 2 number 1 at the box office, okay? No. No. Every white woman in America saw the first Avatar. Okay? That was the only reason Avatar 1 made money, is because every white woman in America saw it. Nobody else on the planet wanted to see this. Only white women. Because they wanted to see guys in blue skin paint and tight outfits. Okay? If Avatar 2 is going to go one of two directions. Every white woman on the planet is going to drop everything she's doing to go rush to see this film 1,000 times over, or it's going to be the biggest disaster since Heaven's Gate. You want to talk about what Strange Worlds did to Disney? Because, man, that thing just landed with a...
Oh, did it?
Oh, very much so. Strange Worlds, I don't even know if... I don't think they even broke number 1.
I didn't even hear nobody really talk about
Nobody
it.
cared.
When I saw the trailer, I was just like, I'm not really interested.
Well, the whole
I
thing...
really just didn't care.
All they really talked about in the pop culture about this thing was that it was about a gay teen romance. And that immediately, that turned... Okay, you turn on every gay pedophile in America, which is like 6. And sure enough, that's what the box office showed. 6 came out, and the FBI is still following these guys. But anyway. Straight to Disney Plus. Not that it's going to make any difference over there. So anyway. But yes, Black Panther 2 making $400 million.
White Panther.
Did I say White Panther? Lot of brown in front of the camera.
Oh,
not so much behind it. Just saying, I do that. Anyway, I'm going to call it White Panther from now on, just to get a reaction out of you people. If you have a visceral reaction to me saying White Panther, what are you saying about Black Panther? Why is it acceptable? Why is it acceptable for Black Panther to do it, not White Panther? Anyway, I actually think there is a white tiger though.
Isn't it
hangs out with the Defenders, I think. Haven't seen it. No, hung out with Spider-Man. The Spider-Man cartoon had white tiger there for a little while, but they gender flipped it.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was one of these Spider-Man cartoons on Disney that maybe lasted 2 years and then they gave up on it. But
huh.
He was supposed to be leading a team, I think. But whatever. It was Luke Cage, Iron Fist, White Tiger, and Spider-Man. And Spider-Man was supposed to be the one training the others from Nick Fury's direction, which, yeah, pretty much went the way it sounded.
Wow.
That's the one that made Spider-Man and his amazing friends look street. So, moving on.
Apparently a Shrek 5 is in the making.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm alright with that. I like the Shrek movies. They were pretty fun.
Well, they can't be. Universal right now is talking tons of smack to Disney because Disney's having a really hard time making any money off of animation the last few years. I wasn't aware of this. Universal with Illumination Entertainment, that's the Minions guys, and DreamWorks, which is Shrek, and that's pretty much it. Well, no, and Kung Fu Panda, that's DreamWorks too.
Kung Fu Panda.
Those three franchises, Universal made more money off of their animated movies than Disney has the last 4 years running. Ooh, that is not a good sign for Disney.
And it's not the animation, it's the story.
No, it's not the animation, it's the crap story. Because, again, as we've been saying for how many years now, if you've got a good story and you tell it well, it will sell.
Yeah.
A good story told well will sell. Which nobody in Hollywood is paying any attention to except Sony and apparently Universal. So, which is surprising to me because Universal is also NBC and Comcast, and those are two of the wokest so's and so's in Hollywood. But somehow Illumination and DreamWorks have largely managed to avoid it, although DreamWorks has stepped in their own mess from time to time.
Yeah.
Just saying. So what do you say? What else you got?
It'd be good.
Yeah.
So I know we usually do not talk about this person, and for good reasons, but Whoopi Goldberg said something that I'm honestly, I want to say, wow, I can't believe she's saying this.
I would believe it.
In a way of, I like what she's saying.
I don't believe that.
Yeah. So apparently there was a conversation came up saying that with all the woke culture nowadays, movies like Blazing Saddle would not survive in this world. Whoopi Goldberg actually defended Blazing Saddles and says that if people would get off their high horse, no puns intended, it would actually make it in this world because people need to see how stupid they are.
That's true.
And I'm like, wow, this is coming from Whoopi Goldberg. Like,
people need to
wow,
go. People need to go off their high horse, and I get no kicks from champagne. Mere alcohol doesn't thrill me at all. But tell me, why should it be true? I get a belt out of you. I get no kicks from cocaine. Anyway, hi. High horse. Go.
Wow. But yeah, I mean, that's I like that. Like, I was just like, ooh, well done, Whoopi. It's been a while since you actually made me go, yay. So yeah. In other news, apparently we will have a Rush Hour 4 with Jackie Chan. Actually teased about it. So
Jackie Chan's alive?
Yes. Yes.
Oh wait, it's his career that's dead. My bad. Go ahead. What else you got?
Jackie Chan is still strong to this day. To this day.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha. Roger that. Now, what else you got?
Alright. Are we ready for this one? Okay. The Video Game Awards was what was it? Friday? Thursday? No, Friday. Friday. It was last Friday, and
How many times have we talked about video games on Geeking Out?
none. That's why I had
That
this
shows
on the
you
news.
just how impressive video games have been for the last 4 years. Go ahead.
Are you kidding me? Have you seen the artwork on this and the storylines? And like, pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Anyways, Video Game Awards was Friday, and the winners that took on the most stuff was, of course, God of War Ragnarok. Took home 11 awards. But the game of the year was Elden Ring, which is a pain in the butt to beat. But that's not the big news that came out of
That's true.
that came out of
I actually
Video
heard
Game
this.
Awards.
Go ahead.
There was an imposter among them.
This is another thing that's been happening in Hollywood a lot.
Yeah.
Especially with the news media, there have been fakers. This happened when Twitter let loose all their engineers and stuff, and there were two people standing outside pretending to be fired engineers, and they suckered just about the entire media complex. Yeah.
So, in one of the big events of the night, a group, I believe it was Elden Ring, that was taking home the big win, and a certain somebody snuck up on stage with the rest of the developers and the crew and all that, and kind of blended in. Of course, you could tell he's just a kid, and after the main guy did his big speech and stuff like that, he got up. This kid got up to the podium and says, I believe he said something about Bill Clinton and thank you all, and then that was it. Of course, if you watch the video, it will show him doing that, and then bodyguards and stuff rushing up. Security was rushing up on stage, kind of just like grabbing the kid by the arm, like, yeah, you do not belong here. And this kid, his name is Matten Evans. He is a YouTuber. Now, apparently this was not his first time doing something like this. Over the years, he's attended several events where he's didn't really say anything political, but kind of just did weird stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like shouting out Bill Clinton's name for some reason.
Yeah, because it would get him clicks and get him notoriety instead of just being an idiot who snuck in and embarrassed the entire security group. That's why they grabbed him and chucked him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's also being charged.
Oh, I'd imagine. At least,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
At least, yeah.
So that happened.
Yeah, that happened.
Speaking of stupidity, and I know I put this on here because it is, I really don't care about this person. I really don't. But we'll get it over with because there are fans out there who might actually like this. I don't know. Taylor Swift is writing and directing debut of a story she had, and it's being produced by Searchlight Pictures. Yeah, that's happened.
Okay, did something happen?
No, that's
Okay.
that one.
So that's all the new stuff.
No, I got one more.
One more.
One more. And this is a
Let's
biggie.
wrap this. Yeah.
This is a real biggie because
a
I
real biggie.
also have to get on my phone and look at the screenshots that I saved for what he said. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
James Gunn. There is a bunch. Okay, first of all, there's a lot of news out there right now about this whole thing.
He has a bunch of haters.
Reboots, cancellation, and all of that. Basically, nobody knows for sure what's going on. Okay? Nobody knows for sure. Apparently Wonder Woman 3 is being canned.
Gone.
They're talking about rebooting the entire DC, all of that. But James Gunn said that next week, I believe, well, this week, he will be letting everybody know some more information. So we'll have more story on that.
Mm.
But apparently, Wonder Woman 3 will not be moving forward. People found out that there was going to be... Okay, it was in talks. It was in talks, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Remember.
Mm-hmm.
It was not reported to be like, greenlit or anything. But apparently, they was wanting to do a Batman Beyond movie with Michael Keaton.
Yeah,
but
I remember that one.
It was a story that was just put in there, and nobody knows for sure. But now, I have to stand up, get my phone out of my pocket to read all of this stuff. Give me one moment.
He'll be back. Anyway, while he's getting ready to read that stuff, coming up this week on Backrack Video, we're going to be talking about two studios that just completely changed the television industry. One heavily influenced the other. We're going to talk about what a redhead and Cuban band leader did to completely change the television industry. It's coming up this week, only on Backrack Video.
Yeah. All right. James Gunn said, as for the story yesterday in Hollywood Report, some of it is true, some of it is half true, and some of it is not true. And some of it we haven't decided yet whether if it's true or not. He also says, although the first month at DC has been fruitful, building the next 10 years of the story takes time and still just the beginning. Peter and I choose to helm DC Studios knowing we're coming into a environment both in the stories being told, in the audience itself. There will be an unbelievable transitional period as we moved into telling a story across film and animation and TV and gaming. But in the end, drawbacks of that transitional period will be like, a lot of work, basically, he goes on to say. We know that we are not going to make every single person happy every step of the way, but we can promise everything will be done right for the fans. We know we are not going to... Oh, I already read that part. Sorry. As for more answers of the future of DCU, I will sadly have to ask you to wait. We are giving those characters a story, the time and attention they deserve. We ourselves still have a lot more questions to ask and answer. And he leaves that with a picture of the cover of Kingdom Come.
Yeah, that's supposed to be a major project. That would be a... Okay. Let's roll it back here for a minute, okay? Kingdom Come. Let's go back to when this first came out. Kingdom Come was kind of like, honestly, if I think about it,
the best story ever. Sorry.
Kingdom Come was like the answer to Watchmen. Okay, Watchmen was Alan Moore's critique of the entire superhero genre. Kingdom Come was, I believe that was Mike Barr. I can't remember who wrote Kingdom Come. It'll come to me here as soon as we stop recording. Whatever. It was the answer that said superhero. If Watchmen said the superhero genre is flawed fundamentally flawed. Kingdom Come was the one that said, no, it's not. It was the answer to Watchmen. And it pretty much, Kingdom Come, bless their little hearts, pretty much put an end to a lot of the grim and gritty reboots that were going on, because it was a critique of the entire grim and gritty thing. I hear, getting off Kingdom Come here for a minute, what I'm hearing from James Gunn, and whatever the other guy's name is, I cannot Peter something or other. Okay. What I'm hearing from those two, I'm hearing a lot of parallels with Twitter. Okay? Because Musk, I know I've said Elon Musk a lot lately the past 2 weeks. Elon Musk went in and cleaned ranks. And I mean, it was a full-blown purge. Just threw everybody out and started over, basically. Because on the Troy Duty, we talked about the 10-90 rule. 10% of your people do 90% of your work.
Yeah.
How many hangers on? Because look at all the DC legacy productions, the TV shows that won't go away, the movies that lumber on and on, all this stuff going on. And you've got all these hangers on and all these people with agendas, and none of them are taking the story to heart. None of them are concerned about being effective storytellers. They're too busy pushing a message or getting an agenda out or making a stupid point or getting a cool visual or something like that. Everybody brings all this garbage in. If you look at DC, quick, name one person at DC, one storyteller at DC whose name I've mentioned in the last 4 years.
Lee? Or
no, I didn't mention Jim Lee that much. He was publisher. It would be why I mentioned him. There's one guy who was involved in the first Superman production. He can't think of his name.
It's like right there, but
Jeff Johns.
Oh yes. Okay.
Jeff Johns is one of the few storytellers left at DC Entertainment. Period. That includes the books. That includes the movies, that includes the TV shows, that includes everything.
And he's part of Stargirl, right? He's the one that did the Stargirl.
He's the one who created Stargirl. He's the one who shepherded JSA for years and years.
Right.
He helped shepherd a bunch of other things. He's trying to get DC back off of life support by doing a bunch of different books over at DC. But nobody buys comics anymore, so nobody... I've been getting notifications for months now about all these Jeff Johns books, and I said I would read Jeff Johns if he wrote if Jeff Johns wrote a matchbook cover. But who uses matches anymore? So it sounds to me they're having that James Gunn and Peter Watson's face are going to have to sit there and purge everything, which means it's a fire sale. Everything's got to go. Everybody out. Batgirl actually finished production, and they threw everybody out, and I don't know if you remember this or not, when they did the Batgirl movie, they threw everybody out and deleted the finished movie. The movie was finished. Warner deleted it. DC deleted it because of David Zaslav took one look at it and said, this is such hot, steaming garbage, I want it gone. And it's a good thing they did, because the producers actually tried to sneak back in and take off with it so they could release it publicly and basically humiliate everybody involved, only to find out it had already been erased. All of it gone. All these months and months of production, gone. Just, that's how you purge. You throw them the hell out, you start over from scratch. It's not as hard as it sounds.
No.
Okay? We're going to talk about Star Trek here coming up in January, and I'm talking about how Trek is dead. You can still save Trek. We'll talk about that in January. Trek could still be saved. Doctor Who could still be saved. Star Wars could still be saved. Disney could still be saved, but not if you don't purge all these non-storytellers the hell out of the way.
Yeah, we don't need Zack Snyder.
We don't need Zack Snyder, okay?
Please.
We need somebody who can tell an effective story, okay? As your director who can visually tell a story, we need a writer who can write a good story. We need a producer who can get a story and a vision, but is enough of a businessman to keep the costs down. Okay, so that way it ensures profitability to allow more storytellers to come in and tell good stories in the future. That's what DC needs. It's not what Marvel's doing. Marvel finally slunk off of their Phase 4, and now they're talking about slowing down Phase 5 and 6.
Oh,
I forgot all about that. You forgot to mention that everything's getting pushed back. Fantastic Four's been pushed back to 2024, I think. We'll have to wait till Trump wins an election before we see.
Basically, big story short. Marvel is not happy with Phase 4 and what's happening, and then because nobody's really watching it or caring about it, which is true. So yeah, they're fixing big changes, but that's Marvel. We're talking about DC thing.
I'll tell you something to watch before we wrap here. This is the last story you had, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to wrap here in a minute because we're already like 40 minutes into this, and we try to wrap it at 40. On Marvel, okay, watch your future releases, because boy, Marvel loves to show their timelines. Oh my goodness, they love showing timelines. Marvel will not right its ship until you see the Agatha Harkness project, movie, TV show, whatever it is. If you see Agatha Harkness project taken off of the timeline, Marvel might have a chance, because it means they're purging. Okay? DC is purging right now. They got rid of Batgirl. Agatha Harkness is their Batgirl. Okay? I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Because there is absolutely zero A-listers involved in Agatha Harkness. Okay? I know it. She had a nice little ditty there for about a week when WandaVision was out a couple of years ago. Not enough to build a franchise around. Okay? If you see Agatha Harkness hanging, as long as Agatha Harkness is on the release schedule, Marvel is doomed. If it actually releases, DC's going to eat their lunch for the next decade, just like David Zaslav said they would. Because if Agatha Harkness actually sees the light of day and releases, even if it's on Disney Plus, nobody at Marvel is left there are no grown-ups left at Marvel, I'll put it that way.
I mean, okay, first of all, when it comes to Marvel, they need to stop losing money, because nobody needs a spin-off character from something. Like, we don't need that. Just stop it. Like, who cares about Agatha? I'm sorry, but I don't care. I don't need to see her story. Okay? I don't need to see She-Hulk's intern. I don't need to see their story. I don't need to see I just don't need to see spin-off stories, and that's all they're doing. Same thing with Star Wars. It's like, stop doing spin-offs of characters that you really don't care about. Even though I know Andor is actually, I'm hearing like a lot of positive things about that, but whatever. I just don't. Want it.
I keep thinking Endor.
Endor, well, yeah, it does sound like it.
Which, isn't that where the Ewoks hung out? And that's why I didn't pay attention. I thought it was a movie about the Ewoks. But what you were saying.
I mean, when it comes to all the news here lately, everybody's just speculating, and they don't know for sure. But you got to look between the lines, because James Gunn himself, I just read to you, he doesn't know what's going to happen. They're looking over things. All we know is that the main priority, James Gunn did say, was Superman. Henry Cavill's coming back. Gal Gadot tweeted saying that she was very thankful for being able to get that role, and that she's excited, and I hope the fans are also excited for the future of Wonder Woman. Now, that doesn't mean that she is not going to be Wonder Woman no more. Just because there's not a Wonder Woman 3 movie does not mean that we're not going to see Wonder Woman again.
Right. Just because there's not a Wonder Woman 3 doesn't mean there won't be a Wonder Woman 3. Exactly. It just means we're not getting another Wonder Woman 84. That means.
We might get a Justice League movie where it's all of them. You know?
The thing is, Wonder Woman has always been really, really hard to write. There's a history there. We can get into it sometime about Wonder Woman's background. She was created by the dude who developed the lie detector, which That's where the lariat of truth comes from. That's all I'm getting into on that right now. But James Gunn, right now, like I said, he's got to purge. But in order to purge DC of all this deadwood that they've got, and they have a bunch of deadwood, look at any DC comic from the last 2 years, or since Rebirth crashed anyway. Ever since Rebirth crashed, and that ended, it's all been Superboys in love and stuff, okay? Until David Zaslav gives him unfettered control of DC filmed entertainment, he's not going to be able to, James Gunn's not going to be able to say for sure this, that, something else. This one. I want Henry Cavill to be Superman. Don't forget, Dwayne Johnson said he fought for 8 years to get Henry Cavill to do a cameo as Superman, and they told him no. Not take it back, 6 years. But Warner Brothers was actually telling him, no, you can't have Henry Cavill. Why in the hell not? What was it about Henry Cavill that some woke wanker at DC decided he shouldn't be allowed on the set?
Yeah.
What in the world was going on?
Just a cameo. Huh.
You've got to purge. You've got to get these guys out, and we're starting to see that finally in the media, in the entertainment media anyway. We'll see that in the news media next. We'll talk about that on the Chore of Duty maybe next week or sometime. Not this week. Don't need it. But I honestly think you're going to see a purge at DC. Disney is going to be the last refuge of these, well, I'll just go ahead, woke wankers. That's going to be the last refuge, because the Disney board of directors is knee deep in this agenda stuff. You're going to see Universal turn. Sony's turned. I don't think you could actually say Sony was actually that deep into the woke stuff. Universal's turned. I'm trying to think. 20th Century Fox is dead and buried by Disney. We'll talk about that in a minute. Warner is just now waking up from being woke. And I think that's basically it for the major studios. So, well, 2023 is going to be even more interesting times, and boy, I'm tired of living in interesting times.
I have total faith in James Gunn. He really cares about all of these characters, and that's something that we definitely need, to be honest.
The only things I could really know James Gunn from are the 2 Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I know he's done a lot of other stuff.
Suicide Squad movie that you liked.
Yeah, I actually like that one. But I think it'll be interesting because, okay, one last point, we got to go. James Gunn has been working what we know on superhero things for team films. Okay, yeah. That's what James Gunn does. The problem with team projects, whether it's film, television, books, whatever, the problem with team books is you're writing an ensemble show. Okay, any talent you have, any writing talent you have, gets diluted among all the different characters because you're having to sit here and it's basically storytelling as juggling. Okay, yeah. You're trying to keep all these characters in the air, keep them all interesting and fresh. Sometimes you succeed, James Gunn's Suicide Squad. Sometimes you don't succeed, the Jared Leto's Suicide Squad. Yeah. Oh. James Gunn has shown he can juggle team groups. What can he do if he does a Superman movie where he just focuses on Superman, Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, Clark Kent, and the smaller crew, and is able to devote his attention to telling a story there?
Yeah, like James Gunn just has that mentality of going old school when it comes to, and I feel like if we do get Man of Steel 2 and stuff like that, it's going to be kind of old school, you know, where it's just the city of
Metropolis, yes.
Yes. And
the kind of story I would tell.
You know, him visiting Lois on the balcony and him, you know, saving the cat from the tree. You know, the old school story. The way Christopher Reeves was.
Let me break this down again last time. Let me break this down, okay? James Gunn is a storyteller. Jeff Johns is a storyteller. There are storytellers left out there. John Lasseter is a storyteller. I like Luck. I like Luck a lot. There are storytellers left in Hollywood, and you have a bunch, thousands upon thousands of fanboys and fangirls in Hollywood right now. They're the ones who are writing fan fiction. That's what all the Star Wars movies have been since they did all of the sequels and everything since, including The Mandalorian, but The Mandalorian was fan fiction done right. Everything else fan fiction gone wrong. Most of the DC output, most of the mainstream output for that matter. Anytime you take an existing intellectual property and you run it into the ground, it's fan fiction. Okay? There's a book that came out a couple of weeks ago about Queen something or other in the Justice League, and it was an African queen or something with a superhero, and you can just she might as well just had Mary Sue written across her chest, because oh my goodness, she could do no wrong. And there's Black Canary saying, "You go, Queen," and there's Green Arrow talking about how awesome she is, and Wonder Woman talking about what an inspiration she is, and also, and you can see this white chick, because I actually made this point on Twitter, this white chick who knows nothing about the black experience, knows nothing about the black culture, knows nothing about Africa, doesn't even know Elon Musk is half South African. That's how little she knows about any of this, but boy, she can write a Mary Sue. Until you purge those guys out, you're not making any progress. So, let's wrap this. Finally. With this critique. It didn't intend to get political, but it keeps going political because everybody else is injecting political into it. Stop that. Tell a good story. I just want a good story once in a while. Doggone it. I'm running out of old stuff. I've bought all the old stuff I want now, pretty much.
You're about like a little kid.
I am. I'm 51 years old. I'm reading stuff from the 80s and 90s. For crying out loud. And I lived through the 90s. It wasn't that good. But I still read stuff from the 90s. It's better than today.
I will say, I'm giving this a shot Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
You might want to watch it. Or, it's actually not bad.
What's coming out Wednesday?
No, it's called Wednesday. It's Wednesday Addams.
Oh, the one with the Wednesday Addams Project.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. So
Give
far,
it a try and let's see what happens.
So far, I like it. It's very Tim Burton-ish.
Well, so I'll let him have the last say on that. So watch Wednesday Addams. Coming up this week, we're going to do our episode of Back Rack Video finally, and we're going to be talking about Desilu and MTM and how those two studios managed to change the television industry.
Oh
so,
yeah.
Stand by for that one. It's gonna be a talker. So hopefully I'm not sticking a bunch of clips in here, because this quick background. This episode was supposed to be about theme songs and about the lost art of the theme song. And every theme song I was thinking, every good theme song I could think of was either a Desilu or an MTM production. I was like, there might be a story to tell, so we're going to tell that. Until next time, I'm Spike.
I'm Chris.
And we've been geeking out. We hope you keep geeking out. Y'all take care now. Bye-bye.